that damn Faith got some very, very, very strong genes. Okay? Blink. Thank you, God. Because some of the males, Blink, that she chose to have the babies with, Blink, I don't hear nobody out there. Hello there, little bucks. Hello there, Billas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share the Facebook, or whatever your favorite social media environment is. I hear the best place to be is that goddamn tiki-talkie. But your girl, being 53 this year, don't know how to work that tiki-talkie. Okay, but if y'all know how to do it, you are more than welcome to share it over there on the tiki-talkie. They about to shut their shits down anyway, because they got the children just doing all kinds of crazy challenges and stuff like that. I ain't with that. Leave the children alone, okay? Because they are still the future. Yeah. I believe anyway, those of you who are paying club members, I want you guys, like within the next week, to make sure you visit either the YouTube membership community wall or over there on Patreon, however it is that you take care of your fees. But I'm feeling a certain book next. Now that I'm in this space where I feel like I don't have to do what brings in the money, because you know what generally brings in the money for us is the Motown era. But now that I've come to the 90s, I'm feeling pretty good about it. At any rate, love bugs. I think you all are liking this book. Let's continue reading. Faith Evans, Keep the Faith. A lot had happened to Puffy since I'd come down to the studio in LA when I was pregnant with China to sing on a track they were working on. Andre Harrell had fired Puffy from his job at Uptown, and now Andre Harrell was having a string of success while people were wondering what the next move for Puffy would be. He was still producing many artists, and L.A. Reid, the head of LaFace Records, had hired him to executive produce Usher's debut album. And now Puff had invited Kai and his C.K. Blunt Productions to see if they could contribute something to Usher's album. Can you get with it? It's like that. First of all, I knew something wasn't right about the fact that this 15-year-old boy was making me feel a certain kind of way with every time I look at you, there's so many things that I want to do. Something wasn't right. Why is this little boy making me feel like this? Why isn't he talking about handing me bubble gum and walking me home from school, holding my hand? When I used to go down to Ziegfeld's to see the strippers, I think it was like every Thursday, that was one of their main songs that they used to dance to. Can you get with it? It's like that. That's how I know that song. I was like, oh, shit. Because it was a very seductive, sexy song. And it was a 15-year-old singing that song. It was weird. It was weird. Even though I was working with I'll Be Sure, I still didn't go to the studio with the guys in any capacity besides just hanging out. I brought China and planned to just wait in the studio lounge for them to be done and go back home. I believe, like many baby mothers, that she was pressed for her baby to be around the baby father, and she was just there. Okay, this is how I know that China can have a relationship with her father. If she just was with her father at the studio. So I believe her when she says that. I sat on a couch in the studio lounge watching television with China in my lap. The lounge was small and sparse. There were 2 tattered leather sofas, an ancient television bolted into the wall, and a few end tables with a telephone on one and stacks of takeout menus and magazines on the other. I turned to put my legs up on the sofa and situated China beside me so that she could take a nap. I was flipping through a magazine when Ike Lee came into the lounge. You know, Ike is a part of the group with her baby father, Kai. You niggas might be mad at me. But it's the truth. Blink. That damn Faith got some very, very, very strong genes. Okay? Blink. Thank you, God. Because some of the meals, Blink, that she chose to have the babies with, Blink, Mama, we need you. Come on. Need me for what? We need a woman's voice on one of these tracks. Come on. Okay, I said, shifting China, who was sleeping, away from my body and positioning her on the sofa. I followed Ike out of the lounge and down the corridor in the direction of the studio. My mouth had gone dry and my hands were cold and clammy. I'd sung for Puff back in L.A., but he'd become much more accomplished since then. Everyone knew who Puff Daddy was, and now I was about to come face to face with him. Girl, don't look that nigga in his eyes. Y'all know I've been saying that he was a demon. Anybody who eyebrows, let me see if I can do it. Anybody who eyebrows got 2 points at the top right here and here, that's the devil. I took a glance at myself in one of the framed photos that lined the hallway as I walked behind Ike. I had on a pair of wide-legged palazzo pants that I'd worn a lot when I was pregnant with China. Child, I know you like palazzo pants. Look, if you know, you know. Y'all call them yoga pants now, but they was palazzo back then. And I had on a brown and beige knit sweater and brown slouchy suede ankle boots. I looked okay, but I was still self-conscious. I looked like I was going to run errands, not sing for a popular music producer. Child. Mother suckers in them studios probably smell like cottage cheese. Remember when we read the Mark Curry book? Them motherfuckers used to eat, sleep, shit. They wasn't even able to take baths in the studio. Sometimes, ugh. You know, so girl, Faith, you was fine. You was fine. Do you want me to sing this fucking song or what? Okay. I walked into the studio behind Ike with my head down. The room was loud. People were laughing, talking, and joking with each other while a track played on the speakers that were embedded into the walls around the room. The only people I recognized were Kai, Ike, and Floyd, who were all sitting on folding chairs to my left. Let me ask y'all something. Why do y'all keep bringing up Vincent Herbert in that equation? Because I don't see Vincent Herbert when she talks about Kai, Ike, and Floyd. But y'all keep talking about Vincent Herbert. Take my baby father. What is that about? Did they all used to be friends? And then they stopped being friends? The only people I recognized were Kai, Ike, and Floyd, who were all sitting on folding chairs to my left. They looked nervous as they talked about which songs they were going to play for Puff. To my right, there were 3 men sitting at the mixing boards, pushing buttons and twiddling knobs to adjust the way the music sounded, pulsating through the speakers. One guy was standing up, leaning over the men at the mixing board. His back was to me, and even though I couldn't see his face, I knew it was Puff from the sound of his voice. Did you also know it was Puff because of them childburn hips he got? Girl, I keep telling y'all, if I meet that nigga, I'm gonna get him pregnant. This shit ain't hot. He barked at one of the guys. I need to hear some strings on that shiz. Don't none of y'all ninjas know how to play some guitar? Make that shit sound fool. I wanted to be on some old operatic shiz. I don't care what your position is. Don't talk to me crazy. So Faith goes into how he like I needed to sound like this. What's wrong with you? You don't know what you doing around here? And the guy on the mixing board, he all nervous. I was going to do that, but, I'm getting ready to get out of here. It's getting hot in here. Puffy like, or childburn hips is like, you hear this? This nigga's talking about he get ready to leave. You believe this shiz? I would leave before I get your ass pregnant, Puffy. I didn't even really remember what he looked like from before. So it was like seeing him for the first time. He was only a few inches taller than me, but the intensity of his attitude made him seem like he was over 6 feet tall. So you mean to tell me Puff Daddy ain't 6 feet tall? Every time I Googled a nigga, I think they say 6 feet or 6'1". What? Is he wearing them lift shoes? His words rushed together very quickly, and his normal speaking voice came out like a yell. This is your home, ninja, he said to the producer. The guy jumped slightly and then tried to smile. What? You let a nigga with childburn hips talk to you crazy? In your home? A young guy about 16 or 17 years old opened up the studio door and poked his head in. Puffy waved him in. The kid gave him bottled water and a sandwich and then disappeared. My time is too effing valuable for y'all to be bullsnitting. Girl, who is he talking to? He took a swig of his water, swished it around in his mouth, and then swallowed. Now I need to hear this Usher song with some female vocals on it. Ike stood up from the far side of the room where he'd been sitting with Kai and Floyd. We got somebody right here. Ike came up to me, put his hand on my shoulder, and walked me over to Puff. Mama can sing, Floyd said. Now I have to make this clear. I was not there to sing that day. It was nothing but the work of God that brought me into the studio with Puffy. Or the devil, Beelzebub himself. When the beat started, Puff started nodding with his eyes closed. Then he looked at me and started waving his arms like a conductor and singing. Is that a part of the process? Let me tell you who this remind me of. All I can think of is that crazy nigga Phil Spector. Okay? You hear that, he said? You hear how those harmonies fall into place? I want some rich harmonies right there. Puffy handed me the paper with the lyrics on it. Here, he said, go over this and I'll be back to hear it. He turned to walk out of the studio. I'm ready. Now, I said. Puff turned around and looked at me. You ready? You ain't even listened to it. I could barely speak. This was all a shock. You have to remember, I was not there to sing. I was there to wait for the guys and drive them back home. So to suddenly be thrusted into this situation was really crazy. I just started making my way to the booth. Faith. Ain't nobody word. Ain't nobody word. Girl, you are soon as I get home. Girl, nobody, listen, the duck outside in the pond 3 doors down know that you can do this, Faith. Ain't nobody even worried about you, Faith. You the only mother hunchy that don't know the power that you got, or do you? Okay, let's go forward. I just started making my way to the booth. I got halfway there and realized that the room was too bright. I couldn't take everyone just staring at me. I felt so self-conscious with my Anita Baker layered haircut and my going to dinner outfit. I was so not fly like Puff and his people. The guys were all wearing the latest Carl Kanai denim outfits and Timberland construction boots. I knew I looked out of place. Girl, open your mouth. Can someone turn the lights down a little, I asked. The room went dim and I continued walking towards the booth. Inside, I began laying down the vocals for the chorus, but it didn't feel right. Excuse me, I asked Puff. Puff turned around and looked at me. I was just wondering, would you mind if I changed up this line a little bit? Do whatever you need to do, he said, pointing to the engineer to start the track over. I was so nervous. I could hear my heart beating in my chest. Even though this wasn't the superstar Puffy that he would later become, he had a presence that meant business. It's them childbearing hips, girl, and them demon eyebrows. Still, I had a feeling that he didn't know how I was about to straight kill those two little lines he wanted me to sing. We know. I stood up straight and calm, just like I did when I sang Let the Sun Shine In at Emmanuel Baptist. I took a breath and belted out my lines. When I finished my lines, I came out of the booth, relieved that it was over, and I started walking towards the door. I noticed right away that Puff was looking directly at me because his dick was hard. That's why Puffy was looking at you. He wanted you to get him pregnant. That's what he wanted you to do, Faith. Oh, my God, look at this thing. Oh, I can make good billions off of her. I need her to get me pregnant. I'm starting my own label, he yelled. It's called Bad Boy Records. I knew he wouldn't be able to hear me if I said anything over the noise, so I just smiled and nodded. I want to sign you. I froze in place and my eyes grew wide. I slowly turned my head to the left to look at Puff. What did you say? I said, I want to sign you to my label. It was surreal, and also it felt kind of awkward. Kai and Ike and Floyd, who were there to play some tracks for Puffy, were sitting right across from us. It was so loud that they probably couldn't hear what he was saying, but they must have known something was up. Are you interested? Puffy asked me with a smile. You want to be signed to Bad Boy Records? Yeah, I yelled over the music. Hell yeah, I'm interested.